Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another drugstore versus high-end video. So for today we are going to be comparing the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation and the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. So these two are both very loved, very popular foundations. One of them is very expensive, one of them is very inexpensive. And I absolutely love both. I use them both religiously. So I figured this would be a very fun drugstore versus high-end video to do for you guys. Before I start applying them for you and giving you kind of thoughts, opinions, showing how they look, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and pretty please subscribe to my channel. It means the world, helps to grow the channel, so please make sure to do that. But if you want to see my comparison and try on of the Pat McGrath and the L'Oreal foundations, then stay tuned for the rest of the video. I've already primed my face as usual. For today, I just used my Fenty Soft Silk Pro Filter Hydrating Primer. So I didn't do a pore filling primer or anything, just something to hydrate my face. So as usual, you guys know the deal by now. If you don't, then you have to go watch some of my other drugstore versus high-end videos. I have a bunch of them on my channel. I have a lot comparing drugstore versus high-end foundations, but I also have some that are comparing other things like bronzer, blush, all that good stuff. So make sure to check out some of those. But as usual, I am gonna be applying one on one side of my face, one on the other side of my face, and you are not gonna know which one is going where. I'm not gonna tell you guys what goes on which side of my face because the most fun part of the video is you having to guess what is on which side. So that way it just gives you a kind of unbiased perspective of which side you think looks better. I'm not gonna tell you guys which one is which until I've tried them on, I put some other makeup on. So basically until the end of the video. So you've gotta stay tuned until the end of the video to find out which one is on which side of my face. For this video, I chose the foundations that were kind of a more like natural to radiant finish. As you guys know, that kind of finish is my absolute favorite. I love like natural to radiant finish foundation. I feel like it just suits the face really well. It gives you that nice glow from within kind of thing. And both of these have that. So I have been using both of these for quite some time now. And I find myself grabbing for these foundations a lot. So that's why I wanted to compare these two together. So like I said, I primed my face already, so we're good to go with that. We are literally just gonna start applying the foundations. Actually, I should mention before we start that both of them are a medium coverage, so they are, or they should be, kind of in the same ballpark as far as coverage goes. And you guys know already that medium coverage is my absolute favorite. I don't like it to look too cakey, but I also need some of this stuff covered up because my skin is just not looking cute lately. So I want some coverage, just not too much. Yeah, so this one goes for $68 and then this one goes for like $13. So there's a huge jump in price between the two. So I definitely consider Pat McGrath a a high-end foundation. I feel like all Pat McGrath products are pretty expensive, but Pat McGrath is one of those brands that just like blows you out of the water every single time. It never disappoints. Everything is just amazing. And then this L'Oreal foundation is $13, but every time I wear it, I feel like I'm wearing a high-end foundation. So I already know that both of them are really good. I just want to see if when they're right next to each other, I can notice any like imperfections or if there's anything I like better about one that I don't with the other. So I'm gonna stop talking. We're gonna start applying. So let's go. Half of my face with one, half of my face with the other. There's one on one side, moving on to the next foundation. Wow guys, I was just looking at myself in the mirror for a hot minute and I was really looking hard to try to find any differences or any imperfections on either side of my face. And wow, because they both look freaking amazing. And I really am kind of stumped on what to tell you guys because honestly, both sides, as for right now, look and feel pretty flawless. One difference that I will give you guys on the application with both of these is that, again, I'm not going to tell you which one was on which side, but just like squeezing them out onto the brush and then applying, the L'Oreal one is a little bit thicker going on than the Pat McGrath. They're both medium coverage, but the Pat McGrath, the consistency of it is more like a watery consistency, whereas L'Oreal, it's not like a thick foundation at all, but it is like a little thicker than the Pat McGrath. Like if I were to put it on my hand, like the Pat McGrath would be like running down my hand because it's really watery, and the L'Oreal probably would too, but not as quickly. So they are different in consistency, but the finishes are extremely similar. The coverage on both so far is extremely similar. I feel like it definitely lives up to the medium coverage name. So I wouldn't say full coverage. Like I feel like I could still spot conceal little areas where I have kind of bad breakouts, but I think it definitely got the job done on both sides. They both look really beautiful. I honestly, as of right now, feel like I always say this, but it's been true every time. Like if I weren't telling you guys that I had two different foundations on my face, you'd probably think that I was wearing just one, which is a very good thing for both of them. The only difference that I did notice when I was staring at myself in the mirror was this side did a better job of hiding my pores than this one did. And like I said to you guys, I'm not wearing a pore filling primer, so we're really getting that like genuine look at how both of these settle into my pores without the help of something else. And I feel like this side did a better job of just filling those pores in so that my pores aren't as noticeable on this side. So they are a little bit more noticeable on this side of my face. I think neither one of them are settling in to like my fine lines or any dry patches. So that's a really good thing about both of them. I tend to have very dry skin, especially in the winter. It can get pretty dry. So it's good to see that neither of them are like clinging onto those dry patches on my skin. But I honestly don't really have many differences for you guys as of right now. Of course, that could change after I apply the rest of my makeup because you guys know things could change once you test out and see how other products sit on top of the foundation. I'm gonna apply the rest of my face of makeup and then I will come back and let you guys know if my opinion kind of changed on either one depending on how other products sat on top of the foundations. So I'm gonna apply the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. The rest of my makeup has been applied. I am fully done with everything, and again, I was sitting there for a hot minute looking at myself, just like observing all the little details to see if I could tell any differences. And as of right now, I'm so happy to say that these two foundations are so freaking similar. It is insane. So the one thing I will say right off the bat, as far as differences go, that I noticed was that after I applied the rest of my makeup, like I even applied my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Powder, and this side of my face, you could still see the pores on my cheeks a little bit better than you could on this side. It's not like a crazy big difference to where you're like, that is very noticeable. But like for me, since I was observing and trying to see what kind of differences there were, I did notice that right away. Like, I don't know how well you guys can tell, but you can see the pores right here better than you can here. Here it looks just a little bit more like airbrushed, and then over here it just looks a little bit bumpy. So that was one thing that I definitely noticed. But as I was applying the rest of my makeup, everything went on so smoothly. Everything else, like, you really cannot tell. Like, if I wasn't paying as close attention, I could have confused the two and I wouldn't even know what's on which side of my face. So that just says a lot right there about both of the foundations. So I'm gonna tell you guys first what is on which side of my face, and then I'll let you know which one is the winner for this video. So I'm gonna hold them up, and I'm giving you guys 5 seconds, as usual, to comment down below and let me know what you think is on which side of my face. Or if you noticed any differences in my face, let me know which one you like better. Just comment, let me know what you guys are thinking about the two. So 5 seconds, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so on my left was the L'Oreal, and on my right was Pat McGrath. So just like always, if you got it right, congrats. If not, that's okay. Basically, in my opinion, I do have a winner, but it's a winner by like this much. Like barely anything, because they're both so good. It's so nice. So the winner is Pat McGrath for me, just because of that little thing with the pores. So of course, I always want something that's gonna hide my pores as much as possible. I don't want like those little dots to be noticeable on my face. I want it to look as airbrushed as possible at all times, especially if you're like going out somewhere nice, or if you're taking pictures. Like, you want your face to look as like smooth and flawless as possible. And I feel like that was just a little bit more noticeable to me. Like, if I was looking in the mirror and I saw this, I think it would honestly bother me just a little bit. Like, even looking at it right now on my face, like from a distance, I can see the little pores on my face and it's bothering me just a little bit. So that is why I chose the Pat McGrath over the L'Oreal. But in no way does that mean that the L'Oreal foundation is bad. It's actually really, really amazing. And I reach for this foundation a lot, especially on like weekdays when I'm going to work. I don't always want to be wearing like this crazy expensive foundation. Like, this is $68. I don't want to be wearing that every single day. So I'll grab for this, and every day that I wear this, I always feel like I'm having a really, really good skin day. I always feel like my makeup is on point. Like, it's just really nice. So in no way is this bad. I actually am obsessed with this foundation, but this one is just a little better to me, and I am weak when it comes to Pat McGrath, because if you're getting a Pat McGrath product, you already know it's gonna be good and that it's gonna be worth your money. Like, when you're shopping for a Pat McGrath product, you're not gonna be disappointed, and it's not a waste of money. And this foundation definitely does not disappoint. Like, I feel like an airbrushed goddess with this foundation. Like, I just feel really, really good. It feels so smooth. It feels like skin. Like, it's like there's nothing even on my face, with both sides actually. This side just feels like a little bit more like dry, but not dry, if that makes sense. Like, this side didn't dry down as quickly as this one did. They both set into the same thing, but this one dried down just a little bit quicker, I feel like, and it's giving me more of that kind of airbrushed effect, whereas with this you could see my pores a little bit more. But I feel like you could fix that if you put on a pore filling primer. Of course I didn't, because I wanted to see how they'd perform on their own. But I think if you did use a pore filling primer with this, it would solve your problems and you're good to go. But of course, for the sake of the video, I think Pat McGrath is the winner. But, and a big but, I definitely think that this works as a dupe for this, because I genuinely feel like they're both really, 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 really similar. Again, I feel like if I didn't tell you that I had two foundations on, you would have thought that it's the same thing. Maybe that I'm just having a bad skin day right here on this side of my face. But you'd think it's the same foundation pretty much, just looking at it. So I definitely think you could get away with wearing this if you're looking for something that works the same way that this does, but is just not as expensive, because I know $68 is a lot to spend on a foundation, especially if you're looking for something that you want to be using every day. I think this is more practical for an everyday kind of thing. This is more of like a weekend foundation or something that you'd wear when you're going somewhere special or you're going somewhere out and you know you're gonna be taking pictures. But I definitely think that this works as a dupe for this. They're both amazing foundations. They both make your skin look super, super beautiful. So technically they're both winners in today's video. It's just that this I am very weak for, so Pat McGrath is the winner. But that is all I've got for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already commented, comment down below, say hi, let me know what you thought about the foundations. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, like I said in the beginning, share with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me if you do, so make sure to subscribe, stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video.